Hello, I'm Gabrielle Simkin, and I'm going to be talking to you about my grandma, Peggy Jean. So, um, my grandma, she was like my best friend. She passed away in 2018, and I always had a really good relationship with my grandparents, and I hope everyone can really say that, because it's such a beautiful thing, just having good relationships with any of your family, really. Um, but my grandma was, like I said, my absolute best friend. She passed away from lung cancer, but she up until the very end she was just herself. It was very sad, but she never let anything like put her down. She was still herself up until everything. But everyone loved her because of her personality and like her little attitude and just the love that she put out for everyone else. um but so my grandma and her personality, when I look back and I think about her, it's just, I always think about like little stuff like this. And one thing is she was always smoking a cigarette. Like that was like one of her things. Like if I think about my grandma, I know kids aren't supposed to be around people who smoke, but like when I was a little kid, I remember sitting out on like her front porch and just talking to her like while she was smoking a cigarette. And that was always like if I think about my grandma, I think about those times. She's always also wanting some sort of snack. Like she was always like, that was like a big personality point of hers. Like she was always like hungry of sorts. We were always going out to eat with her or something. It was like she was that kind of grandma. She was very endearing. And she was always watching one of her soap operas. I know like a lot of grandmas are like that, but like General Hospital, NCIS, Law and Order, SVU, like all of that, I got all those from my grandma, and I still watch them now. Many years later, she made a very big impact on me in pretty much every way. Secondly, her attitude was a big reason why I personally loved her so much. She knew what she wanted every time that she always knew what she wanted. She wasn't very wishy-washy, you could say, of a person. She was very, she knew what she wanted. She, like, going out to eat, she would always need something, like, a certain way. Like, say she ordered, like, biscuits and gravy, she would make a big deal about it being, like, hot when it came out to her. Like, she was that kind of person. But it was cute. Just how she always had something a certain way, she always had Pepsi in the house. Like, I don't know if I ever saw that woman drinking water. She was either always drinking coffee or Pepsi. Like, she was just very specific in the way that she was about things, and I absolutely loved it. Thirdly, everyone was always giving her a foot rub. Like, the attitude that she would have about getting a foot rub was insane. Like, it was either me or my sisters or another cousin of ours was always giving her a foot rub because we would always be spending the night at her house, and it was always a big thing. Thirdly, bringing into that, is the love that she had for everyone else. When I think about my grandma, I think about, like, obviously her personality, but it's just, like, the love that I felt from her. It's such a beautiful thing to have had that relationship with her, and I'm very grateful for it still to this day. The love between her and my papa has always been a very big inspiration to me. She was 56 when she passed away, and they got together when she was 14 and he was 16, I'm pretty sure, and they got together in, like, the 60s, and I remember her telling me, they met, and she was at, like, a restaurant, and she was just like, that's the man I'm gonna marry. Like, she just knew, and that's always been such a big inspiration for me. It's just their relationship. And like I was saying, she always would let all of us grandkids spend the night at the house. Like, there's a lot of cousins in my family. Like, each kid of hers has like 4 of their own, so it's like there's a lot. And she would always like let us all spend the night, and that just shows a lot of love. Like, she's willing to put up with all of that, and she was always making special memories. So that's like taking us up north or whatever else, like taking us on little shopping sprees, stuff like that. It was just, I always think about those memories, and I cherish them still to this day. But in conclusion, my grandma just had so much love out in the world and so many people to give it to and receive it from, and she's one of the most beautiful people I'll ever know, and I'm very grateful to have had the relationship I had with her and to have seen the relationships that she had with other people. Thank you for listening to me.